listening to the Why Boarding School podcast, broadcasting around the world. Join us as we promote independent boarding schools throughout the United States and Canada with our invited guests. Now, here's your host, Dr. Jeffrey Quebec.
Welcome to the Why Boarding School podcast. I'm Jeff Quebec, and today I'm joined by the Director of Admissions at Cushing Academy in Ashburnham, Massachusetts, Tyler Hart. Welcome, Tyler. It's great to have you here today.
Thank you, Jeff. Very excited to participate.
Awesome. So with a rich history dating back to 1865, including having been a coeducational school since the Academy's founding, Cushing seems to have remained true to its mission. Tyler, perhaps you can start off by giving our audience a brief overview of the number of students at Cushing Academy, the grades you offer, where the students come from, etc.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. And I think it is important to really start with the mission of the school, which is actually quite simple. Cushing Academy exists for students and develops curious, creative, confident learners and leaders. Our school currently serves about 385 students, and we have a very high boarding percentage. Over 92% of our students live on campus. You could really split our school into thirds. 1/3 of our students are international from 30 different countries, and we have a long, rich history of serving international students at our school, over 100 years. Another third of our students are from New England. Within driving distance, whether it's 30 minutes or 2 hours and 30 minutes. And the remaining third are from everywhere else in the United States. We have nearly 30 states represented. And while we're in Massachusetts, we have 100 students from Mass, for example. We have 20 students from California who get on a plane and have that 5-hour flight from either LA or San Francisco to come to school in Ashburnham, Massachusetts.
Very nice. So Tyler, what's the academic curriculum like at Cushing Academy?
Yeah, our school week is really split into 7 periods, and students will enjoy 5 or 6 classes at a time. And that difference really is something that is unique to Cushing, and that is our arts program. It is required that students take an art class every year of attendance. And so either they are enjoying metalsmithing or learning an instrument, just to name a few options for either a semester during the academic day or, as one of their fall afternoon activities. Students are required to take foreign language. We offer Spanish, French, Mandarin, and Latin. And so for 3 years of studying a foreign language, but they could maybe study 2 for 1 year and then have that 3rd year being exposed and exploring yet another foreign language. The core curriculum, we offer 20 AP courses and have a number of honor courses beyond that. So students are really able to find the appropriate level of challenge at Cushing Academy.
Now, you mentioned the arts. Can you expand a little bit upon the visual performing arts offerings at Cushing?
Yeah, absolutely. Within the performing arts, we truly can teach students any instrument. Our music director has enough contacts, and since we're only an hour and 15 minutes drive from Boston, folks are willing to come. We have a number of part-time teachers who serve students through private tutoring and lessons. We have 6 individual rehearsal rooms. We organize our musicians into a jazz ensemble. The C-tones is our choral ensemble. And then our chamber musicians, we organize into trios and quartets. Of course, we have recitals galore to celebrate the music here at Cushing Academy. And one favorite is Coffee House, a Friday night kind of blend between a talent show and karaoke
Nice.
that has over 100 students participating, and it's a great, just a great time. We have dance. Our instructor studied at Juilliard, our own dance studio, and of course recitals that take place in Cal Chapel, our auditorium, and 3 big drama productions. The fall drama is oftentimes a comedy that takes place during the fall family weekend in October. The winter musical takes place oftentimes in February. And then in the spring, sometimes we get a little creative with what that offering may include. In terms of visual arts, the Emily Fisher Landau Center for Visual Arts has not only its own gallery, but 5 dedicated studios, drawing and painting and ceramics, which are popular at other schools as well. Our own darkroom for photography, so students can learn to develop film in the traditional sense. We, of course, offer digital video production and photography as well, teaching students Lightroom and Photoshop. And then 2 unique offerings I mentioned earlier, metalsmithing. where students can learn to make their own jewelry and polishing gems, etc., setting them onto a necklace or hanging from a pendant, perhaps, and glass fusing, where students learn to make stained glass for the windows. And as you walk around campus, you actually see some of the windows are replaced by some of the magnificent works by our own students.
Well, certainly a wonderful opportunity for the students in both visual and performing arts at Cushing.
Truly.
Can you tell me a little bit about the academic support program that Cushing offers? I know there's a rich tradition there dating back to the early 1980s.
Absolutely. Yeah, I want to say it was nearly 50 years ago, Cushing Academy partnered with Harvard's Graduate School of Education, pioneering a program supporting students with dyslexia. So it really has been part of our school and really our culture, and it has impacted the culture at our school, where you think about, decades on decades, serving students with learning differences. Now, currently, there are about 50 of our 390 students who are served within our academic support program. Students will essentially, through testing and determinations, be enrolled either in the academic support, which is no more than 4 students per teacher in terms of ratio for a class that they would take, or academic coaching, which is a ratio of 1 student to 1 teacher. Indeed, it is a class either at the academic support or academic coaching level that students take alongside math, science, English, history, etc. And currently, the academic support program has 6 full-time teachers. So it is a standalone department. These are not, faculty members who are, math teachers, English teachers, history teachers who are picking up an extra class to, tutor and really spend individual time. But, this is their craft. They are experts in helping students learn how they learn best. And really speaking to the culture that this has had in our school, we are able to serve a wide profile of learner at our school with the 20 APs that we have for students who are well on their way. And, there are students in the academic support program who are also taking AP courses because, they have picked up the necessary strategies in understanding and identifying how they learn and to be successful in the classroom. So it really is something that has impacted the classroom environment, where our teachers have appropriate tools and take a variety of kind of approaches in order to really address the needs of the learners that we have in our classroom. It's a more vibrant learning classroom, and certainly the focus is not on high stakes testing. It really is developing critical thinking skills and preparing students for kind of the next chapter in life.
Well, that's nice that the students can be taking some AP classes, but then also receiving academic support as needed, maybe in different areas.
Yes, indeed.
So how about athletics? Is every student required to play a sport each season? And what are some of the athletic offerings that Cushing Academy has?
Yeah, so, at a boarding school, typically it is required that students will play 1 or 2 sports as their afternoon activities, which of course are aligned with the seasons for sports in the fall, the winter, and the spring. We do not have that requirement. Instead, we require students to perform a physical activity that has a team element to it. And so participating in the ropes course that we have as one of our afternoon activities, either in the fall or the spring, or one of the drama productions where you're singing and dancing on stage, both of those have that physical activity and team element that really meets that expectation for attending Cushing Academy. We have a fantastic range of sports. We have, I want to say every varsity sport that we offer. Students have gone on to play at the collegiate level, either Division 1, 2, or 3. The strong majority of our current varsity coaches have college coaching level experience and have just chosen to work with elite athletes who are 4 years younger now, in prep school. We also have opportunities for beginners. So for example, we have 5 basketball teams, 5 soccer teams, 5 ice hockey teams, 4 lacrosse teams, really to serve and meet that appropriate level of challenge for the students who are varsity ready as soon as they attend, or maybe need some years of development in order to get to that varsity level if they want, or just to really get out there with friends and join the JV or the thirds team to maintain active an active lifestyle and really enjoy the camaraderie that comes with competition.
This is great, Tyler. We're going to take a quick break here, and then we're going to come back and learn more about Cushing Academy.
Do you have any questions or guests that you'd like to see on an upcoming Why Boarding School podcast? You can contact us directly through our website at whyboardingschool.com. Now, back to our show.
Welcome back to the Why Boarding School podcast. I'm Jeff Quebec, and I'm joined by Tyler Hart, who's the Director of Admissions of Cushing Academy in Ashburnham, Massachusetts. And thanks for being here, Tyler, today. I appreciate it. And
thanks, Jeff. It's been a joy so far.
Awesome. And I guess I'd like to start off by, the second half and really speaking about what is a typical school day like at Cushing Academy?
Yeah, the school day starts at 8:30 in the morning, but the aspect of boarding that I really have come to appreciate is what I call structured independence. So it is necessary for students to set that alarm clock and get themselves, up and, to the dining hall. The dining hall is open for breakfast from 7:30 to 9:30. School day starts at 8:30. Classes typically run until about 3:15. In the boarding school world, prep schools, typically have that half day on Wednesday because games are on Wednesdays and Saturdays for the most part. And, on a typical day with that school day ending around 3:15, then, afternoon activities are enjoyed from, let's say, 3:45 or 4 p.m. start time until maybe 5 or 6 p.m. For example, our skiers, we have recreation skiing with Mount Wachusett, only 18 minutes from our school. There are 50 students who enjoy recreation skiing and snowboarding. So they get on the bus at 3:40, 18-minute drive to the mountain. They're on the mountain for about an hour and a half, and then they get to campus back around 6 p.m. Our dining hall is open for dinner from 5 to 7:15, so that's plenty of time for those folks to get into that remaining hour that the dining hall is open. For some students, maybe soccer practice ends at closer to 5 or 5:15. Go over as a team, enjoy a meal, and you may be done with dinner by 5:45. Dorm check-in is 7:45 p.m. And so that could be 2 hours of free time that students have after dinner. And that is when clubs will meet. We have 30 active clubs here on campus. The STEAM Club, for example, is a staple that meets on Tuesday nights. They have access to the 3D printers and the labs and really are engaging in individual kind of projects, research projects. And, after dorm check-in, 7:45 p.m., preparation for study hall from 8 to 10. So I supervise study hall about once a month in the library. The library is a great common space that students can sign up for in advance. If they, have friends and they want to work on their math homework together, but they live in different dorms, then signing up for the library is that great space to maybe work on group projects or, socialize productively, we'll call it. The lights out is at 10:30 p.m. for underclassmen and 11 p.m. for upperclassmen. We don't have Saturday school at Cushing Academy, though once a month we do have Super Saturday. So that's a 9 to 11 a.m. obligation on a Saturday morning. Maybe we will have an author come and gather in the auditorium and then follow up with guest speakers. The STEAM Club that I mentioned earlier, for example, they will sponsor one of those Super Saturdays and break up into seminars that students and teachers lead, but students can sign up for. For example, in years past, I've taught Excel at Excel, where students can really get into spreadsheets, for example, and dabble with data and learn to visualize and organize things. So that's just some examples. On the weekends, brunch check-in really starts the student day. From 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. is when the students must enter the dining hall where we take attendance. Of course, we hope that they are eating the food there, which is quite good. And then there is a range of activities that take place on the weekends, where there are trips off campus organized, as well as activities on campus. Dorm Olympics compete monthly. The dorms will have oven mitt basketball, mechanical bull riding, bubble soccer, broom ball ice hockey, just to name a few of those.
Where do I sign up?
Things that students look forward to exactly for those afternoon activities and evening events.
Nice. So you mentioned the STEAM Club. Are there other maybe signature programs that Cushing Academy has? Like maybe is it robotics or other activities like that?
Yeah, so we have robotics and actually esports are some of the afternoon activities that are organized. The STEAM Club is an extracurricular club, and so they meet more in the evenings during free time. And so I would, others that come to mind are, for example, the Community Service Club and the Kindness Club. Think of those as back-to-back, where they're both service-oriented. The Community Service Club really organizes things outward into the community and region, and the Kindness Club performs acts of kindness for schoolmates on campus. And so there certainly is an overlap in terms of the students who are involved in each of those.
So Tyler, I know you mentioned the nice meals in the dining hall. Can you tell me a little bit about the meals in the dining hall setup? Are the meals sit down? Are they buffet? Are they required? Are they optional?
Yeah, we have a very casual approach to the dining here at Cushing Academy. Jeff, I live at the bottom of the hill, and I got to walk uphill, and I have dinner 5 or 6 nights a week on campus because the food is quite good. I think probably once a month we have community lunch, and that would be the time when we have that kind of formal sit down gathering. It is not formal in attire, but in the sense that it is required to attend. There is assigned seating. There is 1 or 2 faculty members, with the 7 to 8 students who are at each of those tables, and it really is an opportunity to meet new folks, so that you're not just sitting with friends and kind of doing the same old, but really able to engage with others. So that is something really that I look forward to, because it may be a student who I just otherwise don't really see or interact with or cross paths with on campus.
And of course, it's always good to have great food, right? Students
Absolutely.
like that.
Brings you together.
Exactly. How about dorm life? What's dorm life like at Cushing Academy?
So dorms are, Cushing Academy really has enjoyed kind of a new chapter in its history. 8 years ago, in the last 8 years, we've invested well over $130 million to new buildings and renovated buildings on campus. And that started with Watkins Fieldhouse that was built brand new at the base of the mountain. And so we kept our old gym. We now have two gyms on campus. There are 2 different workout facilities and athletic trainers center in there. And students enjoy that during their free time in the afternoons and of course on the weekends. And the other investment really has been in the 3 new dorm projects that have been built in the last 6 years. So Lee and Sanborn houses were built 6 years ago, and those are single rooms for students to enjoy as they enter as a choice, as they enter into 11th or 12th grades. All the other dorms are double occupancy. Carlisle and Hancock were built 3 years ago, and we really enjoyed the kind of design of that building so much that the newest dorm was just built or was just opened this fall.
Exciting.
And so the facilities truly are top notch. And the other dorms that are currently in use, each of those are over 100 years old, but have been completely renovated on the inside. New flooring, new bathrooms, new furniture. So the students really do enjoy the amenities, and they appreciate that side of campus. And it's a vibrant kind of community life with kind of a casual arrangement. Every dorm has a common room. And after 5 p.m., boys and girls can relax in every dorm or every common room of every dorm. On the weekends, that can take place after 12 o'clock. You can't go down the hallway to, visit one another's rooms. But it really does have a familial feel within those dorms. There are about 5 teachers assigned to a dorm that will have often between maybe 30 or in the single dorm 45 students, and there is a rotation for the faculty. So kind of every 5th day a teacher is on, but the students and teachers really do get to know each other in that respect, and it really creates some consistency and uniformity in terms of the relationships that are forged within resident life. 2 students per room. Students often, when they're returning, will be able to choose their own roommates, and not only their own roommates, but actually their next door neighbors. It is groups of 4 students who we place in the dorms so that they are kind of, with the folks that they enjoy. And new students complete a roommate questionnaire so that we are able to really find that compatible match, whether they like to stay up late or rise early, listening to music during study hall, or more prefer quiet time, having that room run a little bit warmer or a little bit colder. We really try to think of some of those kind of areas of perhaps potential friction and remove those in really trying to find a roommate that is compatible in that first year.
So Tyler, you mentioned the relationship that students have with both faculty and staff. Can you share us a little bit about the advisor system at Cushing Academy?
Absolutely. So, for example, I'm the advisor of 7 students here at Cushing Academy. It is built into our schedule. On Tuesday mornings, we gather together in our advisory groups. Typically, an advisor will have between 4 and 7 advisees. And then we sit together in all school assembly. We sit together in advisory groups. And so that's really how we take attendance and make sure that, our advisees are present. And, if I need to, run into one of my advisees or check in with them, or likewise, they need to find me about something, we know that, on Tuesday and on Friday, we will see each other. The parents have access to the advisors. I share my cell phone number with parents, and if their son is not answering the phone, they haven't checked in, perhaps making a touch with that advisor to get Johnny to call home, and that kind of thing is certainly something that takes place. The advisors, we really are there to support the students. So our teachers post grades on Monday nights. And so, of course, Tuesday morning is the first time that, is the first thing I do when I get to the office is, printing my students' grades to make sure that, my advisees are on track. If they are not, I'm holding them back to say, hey, what happened with that math quiz? And what's your plan? Have you talked to the teacher yet? And, our quiz corrections available, et cetera. And something I really enjoy, not only, just the appreciation that, we have for one another, but, if I, step out of main building and I catch a teacher, walking, we're both heading to the dining hall for lunch, for example, we're not talking about the basketball game on TV last night, but really the students that, the advisees that I know that teacher has, that teacher knows who my advisees are. And we immediately jump into, how's Joey doing in class? How's Susie doing in science? And really, speaking to, how students are doing, how their well-being seems. And it really is at the forefront of the faculty's mind here at Cushing.
So as you're speaking about the students, would you say, is there a typical Cushing Academy student?
Ooh, yeah. And I would say it is one who is excited to participate. We really look for the active participants. Cushing, I mentioned the arts, I mentioned athletics. There's so much to do here at Cushing Academy. And we're really looking for students who are excited to take advantage of those new things. Oftentimes there is a reason why a student attends, whether they are drawn to kind of a key program, or maybe they've engaged in conversation with one of our coaches and are excited to kind of represent Cushing Academy on the field or the pitch or the ice. But that is one aspect of the experience, and there are so many other things to be engaged in that we're really looking for that active participant, someone who is excited to try new things, to grow in that creativity, curiosity, and confidence that is mentioned in our mission.
So with so many different activities at Cushing Academy, is there any cool traditions at Cushing Academy that you feel are unique from other schools, or perhaps maybe there's that one tradition that you hope always remains part of the school?
So I think the first one that comes to mind for many folks here at Cushing Academy is Mountain Day. Mount Fuji is the most climbed mountain in the world, and Mount Monadnock in New Hampshire, only 30 minutes from Cushing, is the second most climbed mountain in the world. And this school year, we enjoyed the 100th Mountain Day here at the Academy, where maybe in the third week of the school year in September, we will not have class, and instead we'll go to Mount Monadnock. It is a quick, but it is not an easy climb, where about 70% of the students and teachers will make it to the top for the all-school photo. I got one hanging in my office just behind me, and then climb back down and enjoy the base of the mountain. And you think, well, what's so special about climbing a mountain? It's not so much that you do it that you're doing it with friends, that you're enjoying perhaps a day off from classes, but the fact that it's a hard climb, and at some point in time you're going to stop. And even for new students, I remember my first year, climbing that mountain, I had to take a break kind of midway up. And, you just kind of rest on a rock, and then someone else kind of, finds their place, maybe 6 or 10 or 12 feet around, near you. And, you kind of lock eyes and just kind of have that moment where, like, this is a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be. And then you happen to kind of see that person, through your days, weeks, and years at Cushing Academy. And that head nod really harkens back to that moment where you struggled and you had to, take that break midway up the mountain, kind of at that same spot. So really it forms connections, it forms bonding in such an informal way that, really does have a lasting impact. In the spring, we have Tony Fisher Community Service Day. Where 9th and 10th graders typically will either stay on campus or near the school, picking up rubbish, picking up sticks, really just doing that spring cleaning that is necessary year in and year out. 11th and 12th graders will go a little bit farther, perhaps into Boston, for example, connecting with charities and nonprofits and doing what needs to be done, lending a helping hand for that particular day. And there is kind of that exhausted sense, a little bit of grumbling when you still have to engage in your spring afternoon activity, but certainly an appreciation for lending a helping hand and kind of just that glow that you have after just doing good for a day.
Very nice. So before we discuss the admissions component, is there anything about Cushing Academy that we didn't discuss today that you'd like to mention?
I think we've really covered many corners of campus, but I think there are two things that really come to mind when students are touring campus. That the students really do get that sense that the students are happy, that they are kind, and that they are enjoying their experience authentically. That is something that is sensed from nearly every family along the tour. And I would say 90% of students of parents when they come around after the tour, they say, "Man, I wish I could go to high school all over again." And if I
where do I
about
sign up?
Cushing back then, exactly. So it really is a testament to kind of what we do, how we do, and why we do things at Cushing Academy.
Well, that was great. So if there is someone who's interested in Cushing Academy, how might they go about starting the admissions process? They visit your website or?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, it all starts with an inquiry, whether that's, on our website via email or just picking up the phone, by calling us, really, you can then schedule your visit. And I think whether it's true at Cushing Academy or other boarding schools, visit. Stepping foot on campus and really gaining a sense. Boarding schools are 80% the same. And so really kind of coming to understand kind of that 20% nuance that is the best match for the student and for the family really only comes with a number of visits, so that you're really able to better understand kind of not just the culture of boarding school at large, but the reason behind why that boarding school does it that way. And so starts with a visit, a campus tour and an interview. We conduct those in person Monday through Friday, every day of the school year. And we have folks visiting over the summer as well. And if you're not able to visit physically, then a virtual tour is something that we offer through Zoom, and we can kind of piggyback the admission interview with that. So maybe an hour with an admission officer, you're really able to learn more and share about kind of who you are and the perhaps match with Cushing Academy. The applications, annually are due on February 1st. And, we accept common applications, whether it's SAO or Gateway to Prep. We have our own Cushing application as well. We don't think differently of you, based on, which process you decide to employ. But, most of them, all of them really do expect, teacher recommendations, math teacher, English teacher, answers to questions for the student and the parents, as well as about 3 years of academic history. That combined with the admission interview gives us a pretty good sense in terms of, that match for Cushing, because ultimately we're trying to answer two questions. Are you a good match for Cushing, and is Cushing a good match for you?
And Tyler, what is the website address for Cushing Academy?
Cushing.org. That's CUSHING.org.
Well, that's great. Well, thank you very much, Tyler. This is Director of Admissions at Cushing Academy in Ashburnham, Mass. It's been great having you join us today, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you for listening to the Why Boarding School podcast. We look forward to you joining us for our next episode. Please remember to subscribe to the Why Boarding School podcast and help us spread the word. Until next time.